Welcome to the YouTube channel, The Right Place, where creativity meets sustainability and timeless beauty. If you're someone who dreams of transforming outdoor spaces into soulful sanctuaries, you're absolutely in the right place. Today, we're diving deep into the charming world of vintage rustic garden designs created entirely from recycled materials. These vintage rustic styles don't just evoke nostalgia, they showcase the art of reuse, turning discarded materials into showstoppers. Whether you have a spacious backyard or a cozy balcony, there's something here that will spark your imagination. Prepare to be inspired by textures of aged wood, weathered metal, antique ceramics, and more, all unified into a harmonious vintage garden atmosphere. With each section, you'll discover ideas to create a timeless escape rooted in nature, memory, and sustainability. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss more inspiring ideas like this. One, the allure of vintage rustic garden design. The timeless appeal of vintage rustic garden design lies in its raw authenticity and grounded aesthetics. These designs often feature materials with visible wear, which tells a story: weathered wood, chipped pots, rusted iron, all finding new purpose in the garden. This character-driven approach brings warmth and familiarity into outdoor spaces that modern styles often lack. Vintage rustic gardens aren't about perfection, they embrace the beauty of imperfection. Each repurposed item, whether it's an old ladder turned into a plant shelf or a distressed door used as a garden backdrop, contributes to the charm. These elements encourage personal creativity, letting gardeners shape a space that reflects both history and heart. 'A rustic garden doesn't just look beautiful, it feels lived in and serene. With aged textures and earthy tones, your garden becomes an extension of the past, a living gallery of reused treasures. The result is a garden that feels intimate and inviting, full of quiet elegance and character. 2. Recycled materials, beauty and sustainability. One of the most compelling aspects of vintage rustic design is its deep commitment to sustainability. Recycled materials are not only eco-friendly, they offer unique textures and shapes that mass-produced decor simply can't replicate. From reclaimed wood to salvaged metal and vintage containers, every piece reduces waste while adding visual depth. Imagine turning an old kitchen sink into a floral basin, or using cast-off window frames as trellises for climbing vines. These clever repurposing ideas add functionality and charm without compromising the earth. By choosing recycled materials, you make a statement that creativity and conservation can go hand in hand. Using what you already have or what others have discarded makes every garden unique. This mindful reuse not only saves money, but gives your garden a meaningful story. Each piece serves as a reminder that beauty doesn't have to be bought. It can be built from what once was forgotten. 3. Furniture and fixtures with rustic soul. Furniture plays a pivotal role in vintage rustic gardens, and when made from recycled materials, the effect is even more profound. Think of wooden benches crafted from old pallets, or garden tables fashioned from cable spools. These creations lend a grounded, organic feel that harmonizes perfectly with natural surroundings. Incorporating fixtures such as wrought iron lanterns, upcycled wheelbarrows, or even rusted watering cans as planters brings depth and functionality to your garden. These fixtures aren't just decor, they're conversation starters and memory keepers, offering both utility and nostalgic beauty. Creating seating areas or focal points using recycled materials adds structure to your garden without feeling overdone. The materials naturally blend into the landscape, giving the garden a sense of evolution rather than construction. Over time, they weather gracefully, further enriching the rustic appeal. 4. Containers and planters with a past. Reimagining everyday objects as planters is a key element of vintage rustic design. Items like enamel tubs, galvanized buckets, typewriter cases, and even old boots find second lives as homes for lush greenery. These containers bring personality and whimsy into your space while highlighting the creative reuse of forgotten items. What makes these recycled planters stand out is their authenticity. Unlike store-bought pots, these objects show wear and history, blending perfectly into the natural patina of a rustic garden. Their varying sizes, textures, and origins create a layered, story-rich setting. 'Using recycled materials as planters isn't just visually pleasing, it also encourages resourcefulness. It invites gardeners to rethink what qualifies as a container, opening the door to endless creativity and personalized design. The result is a living mosaic of color, form, and sustainability. 5. Pathways and borders from salvaged treasures. Defining garden paths and borders using salvaged materials is a beautiful way to enhance rustic charm. Broken bricks, reclaimed wood, old tiles, or even mismatched stones can be arranged to create winding, storybook pathways that invite exploration and admiration. These upcycled paths serve a dual purpose, both functional and aesthetic. They guide the flow of the garden while reinforcing the handcrafted, vintage aesthetic. As they weather over time, these elements become more embedded in the landscape, enriching its timeless atmosphere. Borders made from recycled bottles, rusted tools, or leftover roofing tiles add a quirky edge that brings personality to each garden bed. These small, thoughtful details help unify the entire garden into a cohesive story, one where every piece plays a role. 6. Vertical accents and garden art from discards. Vertical elements such as trellises, arbors, and hanging displays made from discarded items elevate both visual interest and garden utility. Repurposed ladders, iron bed frames, or pallet would become stunning supports for vines and climbers, all while reinforcing the rustic narrative. Old windows, picture frames, or metal grates mounted on walls or fences can transform flat surfaces into vertical art. They reflect light, create structure, and give your garden dimension. This layered verticality adds a sculptural element that's often missing in standard garden layouts. Don't overlook garden art sculptures from scrap metal, wind chimes from silverware, or signs made from repurposed wood add charm and soul. These artistic touches bring joy and imagination to your garden, celebrating the timeless beauty of making something wonderful out of what once was discarded. 7. The power of patina and natural aging. One of the most enchanting features of vintage rustic gardens is the natural patina that develops over time. Rust, moss, and faded paint aren't flaws, they're assets that amplify the character of recycled materials. These subtle marks of age add a sense of authenticity, telling quiet stories through texture and tone. Choosing to embrace weathered finishes over polished ones transforms your garden into a living museum. Reclaimed wood beams with sun-faded grain or rust-speckled watering can serve as a reminder that age can be beautiful. This aesthetic invites relaxation and introspection, grounding your outdoor space in both nature and nostalgia. 'Letting materials age naturally also reduces the need for artificial finishes or chemical treatments. The rustic look evolves gracefully over time, blending with the seasons. As your garden grows, so do the materials, developing even more character and visual depth, making your outdoor retreat ever more compelling. 8. Seasonal styling with vintage finds. One of the joys of rustic garden design is the ability to refresh it with each season, using vintage and recycled elements as rotating accents. From antique lanterns in autumn to chipped ceramic pots filled with spring blooms, the recycled theme can shift with the time of year, adding new layers of charm. For summer, consider incorporating vintage watering cans, galvanized trays, or even old picnic baskets as decor. During winter, rustic crates and lanterns filled with pine cones or evergreen cuttings keep the garden alive with nostalgic elegance. These pieces require little effort to swap, keeping your garden visually dynamic all year long. Seasonal styling not only enhances aesthetics, but also gives you a reason to revisit and enjoy your garden frequently. By using items with history and age, you create a sense of tradition that evolves with the rhythm of nature, reinforcing the garden's emotional connection to time and memory. 9. Storytelling through garden vignettes. A powerful way to elevate your rustic garden is through vignettes, small, story-like scenes that bring together furniture, decor, and plant life. Each vignette can highlight a different theme: a forgotten farmer's corner, a romantic floral nook, or a rustic kitchen garden. These areas invite pause, curiosity, and admiration. Vignettes are especially impactful when composed of recycled materials. An old window frame hung behind a bench, surrounded by pots of herbs and vintage gardening tools, tells a layered story of use, love, and rebirth. These scenes offer both visual interest and emotional depth to your outdoor space. By curating your garden like a series of mini installations, you engage visitors in a quiet journey. Each recycled object becomes part of a narrative, turning your garden into more than just a place to grow. It becomes a space to feel, remember, and reflect. 10. Cultivating a personal legacy in your garden. The most beautiful gardens aren't just styled, they're personal legacies, filled with emotion and intent. Using recycled materials allows you to infuse meaning into every corner. Maybe it's your grandmother's kettle used as a planter, or a bench made from your childhood bed frame. Each piece becomes a memory preserved in nature. As your garden grows, so does your story. Recycled rustic elements ensure that what you build today can carry significance tomorrow. These materials, having once served different lives, now hold a part of yours. In every rusted hinge or aged tile, there's a trace of personal history made visible. A vintage rustic garden designed with recycled treasures is more than aesthetic, it's a living archive of moments, materials, and meaning. It's your unique fingerprint, etched into soil and stone, standing the test of time with style and soul. Conclusion: the right place to begin. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the timeless beauty of vintage rustic garden designs made from recycled materials. Every garden is a story, and yours can start today with creativity, care, and a love for what once was. Here at the right place, we believe that beautiful things come not from perfection, but from purpose. We hope this video has sparked your imagination and encouraged you to see beauty in forgotten things. Don't forget to subscribe to The Right Place for more creative, soulful, and sustainable design ideas. Leave us a comment below and let us know what vintage elements you're planning to use in your garden. Until next time, keep growing beauty from the past.